Dante Greco.
Dante is a really smart guy.
Ladies love Dante. Because I want it there. Look at that face. What's your name, Casey?
Dante Greco.
Dante was me, yours truly.
I'm gonna come.
But is he going to come to jail and get fingerprinted and have his mugshot taken? According to former lawyer and friend Michael Cohen, he absolutely is. Welcome to the Dante Greco Show. I've been away for a week. My fiance was out of town. She got back into town, so I had to take some time off to spend that time with her. We welcome you back. You can see I've changed things up in the background. I'm getting sick of that news background thing that I had and the color scheme. I'm going to be making some changes to the format, to the layout, try to improve this product for you. So, we're going to be experimenting a little bit. Thank you for joining us. So we got to talk about the Trump indictment, and then we got to talk about Jussie Smollett. The brothers came out and detailed how they did the whole fake hate crime, how they pulled it off. And also this Colorado man who allegedly killed his wife by poisoning her milkshakes. It's horrific, and it's perfect Dante Greco Show content. So let's get right into it, okay? Donald Trump, as I said, facing an indictment. Could be today, could be tomorrow. Either way, they're going to try to get him to show up and be arrested in New York. Michael Cohen, his ex-lawyer who went to jail for Trump, is saying that he'll absolutely be fingerprinted. He'll have his mugshot taken. Cohen says, though, he doesn't want Trump to be handcuffed because he still has a lot of respect for the office of the presidency. Look, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, my God, this is unprecedented. We've never had a president of the United States charged with anything. And that's technically true, but this is not just a president of the United States. This is Trump. He's completely different. He's his own thing. He's more than just a former president. He's an entity unto himself. This is a man who broke the mold in every way. He's a hurricane that blew into town and now has been blown back out to sea, weakened, but gathering strength again. And if you nuke that hurricane, we don't know what kind of mess it's going to make. So I'm interested to see this happen. I would like to see this happen, not because I dislike Trump, but because, again, unprecedented. Everything with Trump is unprecedented. It's insane. I mean, look, we were all there for the last several years. Stuff that you never, ever thought would happen in the presidency happened. It's fascinating to watch. And look, if you're on Trump's side, you got to admit, does it look bad to pay off a porn star with hush money from your campaign? Absolutely. Is it illegal? Yeah. Is it something they should charge him with? If you're going to follow the letter of the law, yeah. If it's, from an optics standpoint, as Chris Rock said, you're just going to make him stronger. Maybe it's not such a great idea. I don't know. But I'm cheering it on just because he's not going to go to jail. I don't think they would ever put him in jail. But the story, witnessing history, this is never going to happen again. Never happened before, never going to happen again. This mixture, this personality, his history, this whole the recipe that went into making Donald Trump and putting him in office, and could put him in office again, even if he is indicted. Probably even if he faces RICO charges in Atlanta, which, there's rumblings now that they want to go ahead with that case. I don't know why it's taken them so long. Possibly because, initially I thought he leaves office. Okay, you're going to charge him with the stuff. Charge him now. Go ahead. They kept dragging their feet. No one ever did anything. Merrick Garland never did anything. And finally, we're getting into campaign season. We're a year and a half out from the election. Now they're going to do it. Okay, so maybe, to muddy the waters, to make him look untrustworthy, to say to people, look, do you really want a guy who's been indicted as your president? You could have already charged him, though, in the past, and that would still stick. But maybe they think that voters have short memories, and if you charge Trump with this in 2021 or 2022, people will have forgotten by 2024. I don't know. That's possible. But again, I want to see it happen. Not because I dislike Trump, just because it'll be interesting, because he's going to be fine. Look, he's still going to run. He's going to turn this into a major fundraising opportunity. He's going to use this to tell his supporters that he's being politically persecuted. He's going to ride this wave. This may very well carry him into the presidency. Now, I know he's saying people need to go out and protest and fight for him. I don't think that's going to happen. They tried to make it happen yesterday. I was reading the headlines where they're like, Trump supporters descend upon Mar-a-Lago to show their support. No, there was like 3 people who pulled up on their boats. Okay. It was not January 6th, part 2 at Mar-a-Lago. And I don't think his supporters will have any major protest or any major disruption, maybe a couple small things, but it's not going to be January 6th again because, look, even his supporters have seen how the January 6th protesters got hung out to dry. A lot of them are in jail already, or they're still facing jail sentences. No one's coming to their rescue. So it's like, look, Donald, we like you, we support you, we believe in you, but we're not going to go to jail for you. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. I could be wrong. You never know. Is it possible that the FBI will send some instigators into Manhattan tomorrow to stir things up? That's always possible. Or is it possible that the Proud Boys will show up and really try to kick it? That's possible too. I just don't think it's going to be some massive demonstration. But again, he's facing these charges. The mugshot, when that drops, is going to be huge. Donald Trump's mugshot is going to break the internet, but he will be okay. I really think he'll be fine. He's going to keep running. He's going to use this to his advantage, as Chris Rock was saying at the Adam Sandler Mark Twain Award thing last night. It's just going to make it more popular. But again, yeah, it is illegal. You can't do that. He's just the only guy, and all presidents have done things that are illegal, but he is the only guy who is so outside of the norms of this office that people feel comfortable charging him. He isn't an establishment. He's not like in with the elite, McConnell, all those people behind the scenes who make up the elite, the establishment of Washington, the swamp, as Trump calls it. They're not going to help him. So yeah, he is the guy who's going to be a former president that gets indicted, might even get RICO charges, but I don't think they would throw him in jail. I think even the Democrats would not have the balls to push for a former president, Trump or otherwise, to be jailed. Which, by the way, apparently he can still be president even in jail. So imagine that. He wins, but they put him in jail and he has to do 30 days at Club Fed. And then he gets to assume the office. It would be insane. Looming Trump charges follow criticism of New York prosecutor for not acting sooner. Yeah, this has bothered me for years. For 6 years, we were told, oh my God, Russia, Mueller just was too scared to go all the way, but there's enough evidence there. The moment he walks out of office, he's going to be charged for being a Russian operative and he's going to go down. Nothing happened. That Russia thing, no one talks about it anymore. It's completely what happened to that? We were told for years, oh God, they have all the evidence they need. They just don't want to charge him because he's in office. Moment he leaves office, and that's why he's so scared to leave office. And maybe he was, because maybe he thought that was going to happen, right or wrong, whether it was true or not. But the moment he leaves office, they're going to get him on this, or they're going to get him on the tax. All that's happened is they charged his business, and they put his Alan Weisselberg in jail. And nobody cares about that. Nobody is going to get that upset about white collar crimes. Okay. People will be mad on Twitter, but then, they go back to their daily lives. So all the Russia stuff, nothing happened, when maybe even the RICO thing in Atlanta, they're talking about it, but it's taking a long time. Finally, the Stormy Daniels thing is going to happen, but he's not. And then it was the documents. We all thought, oh, the documents are going to get it. And the documents didn't get him. That was it. That's what we've all been waiting for years. It's hard to take seriously sometimes. A New York City prosecutor who was publicly criticized for declining to charge Donald Trump last year now appears very close to bringing the first criminal indictment against a former president in U.S. history. Trump said that he expects to be arrested this week on charges by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who is investigating whether Trump falsified business records by concealing his reimbursement of his former lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen for a $130,000 payment Cohen made to porn star Stormy Daniels. It was made during the waning weeks of Trump's 2016 campaign for the White House and was intended to secure Daniels' silence about an affair she said she had with Trump. So, Bragg, a Democrat, took office in January 2022 after his predecessor indicted the former president's family company and its top financial executive over a 15-year tax fraud scheme. Yeah, again, no one cares about that. That's come and gone. So people are criticizing this guy for taking so long. It does look more political now. If you had done it in an off year, it would not have looked as politically motivated. I mean, look, Trump, no matter when it happened, Trump would have claimed it was politically motivated. But if you do it in like 2021, 2022, it'll look less politically motivated. Now, Trump has already announced his campaign. He's getting back into the swing of things. We all know it started like a dud, but he seems to be picking up some momentum. So now you charge him. You're just giving him fodder. He's going to make a lot out of this. I mean, listen, he's not going to quietly get arrested and then be like, have a moment of self-reflection and think, well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. No, he's going to turn this into his launching point. You might as well relaunch the campaign tomorrow. Yeah, Michael Cohen was jailed for his involvement. We all remember he went to prison, much of which was spent in home confinement, ordered to pay $1.4 million and forfeited another $500,000. This is about Donald Trump being held accountable for his own dirty deeds, Cohen said. I don't want to see anyone, and that includes Donald Trump, indicted, prosecuted, convicted, incarcerated, because the country fundamentally disagrees with so much of what comes out of his mouth. He said Trump being publicly handcuffed would be humiliating for the institution of the presidency and would not reflect well on the U.S. in the eyes of allies and adversaries. I don't want to see Donald handcuffed and paraded through because it's an embarrassment to our country, Cohen said. Could you imagine our allies and our adversaries, how they could either enjoy this or despise us as a direct result? Again, I think Trump is in some ways bigger than the presidency. I mean, he is such a figure that looms so large that it's different than coming and getting Obama or Bush 1 or Clinton or, Jimmy Carter, whoever it is. It's not the same. Those are people whose entire life was in politics. Donald Trump was Donald Trump already. So, yeah, he is a former president. It would be embarrassing for the country. Okay. We're not Italy. We don't need people being our former leaders being locked up. I'm just saying it's not quite the same. And I don't agree. Look, let's be honest. I know I've seen this tweet everywhere. If they can do this to Trump, they can do this to you. Like, no, the circumstances that led up to this are so unique. It's you would have to go through you have to pay a porn star off while running for president for them to finally bring with campaign funds for them to finally bring charges against you. That's not going to happen for most people. Sorry. Some Trump supporters ambivalent on calls for protests. Yeah, they've been burned. A lot of Trump supporters are in jail for January 6th, right or wrong. They got locked up and no one's getting them out. There would be no pardon. I don't even think, even if Trump wins again, I doubt he would pardon these people because he doesn't want to deal with that kind of political blowback. So, but they may vote for him. That is how they will show their support at the voting booth. Definitely. Georgia prosecutors considering racketeering and conspiracy charges over in probe of effort to overturn Trump's 2020 laws. We all know about that one. It was the phone call where he said, find me 11,000 votes. And I think this is the one with the crazy theater kid who was the grand jury four-person, excuse me. We'll see. I'm a fan of RICO. Yeah, this is the same woman who locks up all the famous hip-hop stars in Atlanta as well. She's got Young Thug sitting in jail right now, and I think there were some other rappers that she's going after. So she does like to charge high-profile people with RICO cases. I would not brush this one off so easily. She says, I'm a fan of RICO. The reason that I'm a fan of RICO is I think jurors are very, very intelligent. They want to know what happened. They want to make an accurate decision about someone's life. And so RICO is a tool that allows a prosecutor's office and law enforcement to tell the whole story. That's right. We all know RICO, racketeering, influencing, criminal organization, corrupt organization. I forget. It was invented by Rudy Giuliani to take down the mafia. And now they love it. They use it on everybody. So loves that RICO. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to be watching tomorrow. They say, Trump himself said, I will be arrested on Tuesday. So I'll be watching. There's not a whole lot to say about it today. Tomorrow, after we see how it all shakes out, we're going to go on there. We might even go live. Do it live. Fuck it. Follow that whole thing. Okay. Let's quickly pivot over to Jussie Smollett. You all remember him. He was on Empire. This was during the height of the Trump years, a lot of racial tension, and he decided to go outside his Chicago hotel room at 2 a.m. in the middle of a blistering snowstorm and get a Subway sandwich. While out there getting his Subway sandwich, according to him, he was racially attacked by a couple of MAGA guys. Of course, we found out what those two MAGA gentlemen looked like. This is them, the Osundairo brothers, and they have now given some interviews on Fox Nation where they discuss some of the details of the case. Let's watch.
They took our beautiful bench. This is where we waited for Jussie to come before we attacked them. So we got here with 10 minutes to spare, and we had to plan our escape route to survey the land. His building is actually right here, right above the stairs that we're going to attack him at. We made sure we got there at 2 a.m. sharp.
On the dot.
On the dot. We had no phones because he did not want us to bring any phones. He said, so we don't lose them. I don't know if that's really the reason, but you can deduce your own reason. So 2 a.m., he was nowhere to be found. He was not there. So we were like, damn, what do? We didn't have no way of contacting him. He had no way of contacting us. So we waited here for about, what, 4 minutes?
It was about 4 minutes,
4 minutes.
But it felt like forever.
Because it was cold as balls. So I saw him out the corner of my eye, and I was like, okay, that's him. Let's go. We gotta go get this Empire Yeah, that's him. That's him. Is that him?
That's that nigga.
It's that nigga.
Get that
Let's go.
nigga.
Oh, he's moving fast. Come on, let's get him.
Get that nigga.
Let's get him.
They were really into character, I guess. I guess they were actually saying that stuff. Maybe he gave them a script to follow ahead of time. Sounds like it. In case any bystanders happen to witness this.
As we crossed the street, we said, hey, to get his attention.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, he turned around, looked at us, and that's when we started yelling the famous slurs he wanted us to yell. Hey,
Aren't you that Empire?
hey, Empire fat Nick.
Wait a second. I thought that was, he just made that part up. That was just what he said. He actually had them say that. Again, he couldn't have found two white guys to pay to do this. I know that they met at like a massage parlor or some weird shit, but like he couldn't have found two white guys to make it a little more believable. What is he doing? It's hilarious that he actually had them say those famous lines. Hey, there's that.
It's MAGA country.
Yeah.
And then he said, what did you say to me? And then that's when I threw the first punch at him. I held the blow because I didn't want to hurt him, of course. So I made it look real, but I held it. Then we started tussling, moving around, and then I threw him to the ground. He wanted it to look like he fought back. That was very important for him because he said, hey, don't just beat my ass, make it look like I'm fighting back and whatnot. So we did that, and then I threw him to the ground. And after I threw him to the ground, he had no bruise. I wanted it to look more real. So then I threw him to the ground. After I threw him to the ground, I used my knuckle and gave him a noogie. So I went like this. Why did I do that? To give him a scar, to give him a mark, to make it look real, like he really did get his ass beat. After I did that, I fake kicked him. I don't know what he was doing. I wasn't paying attention.
That's where I came around with the bleach, the infamous bleach in the hot sauce bottle, poured it on his shirt. Then I finally put the rope around his face. I did not put it around his neck. I just placed it on his face, and that's when we took off.
The music. Hilarious. Listen, it's almost like some weird kinky fetish thing that he was acting out, you know, like they're doing like a weird sexual role play. But I am continually astounded. It's been 5 years, and Jussie Smollett sticks to this story. He just won't give it up. He doesn't even see any benefit in doing like the redemption of, oh, you know what? I made this up. It was at a time in this country where, you know, there was racial. I thought that it could help boost my career. Literally, if he just came out and was honest, I thought this was going to boost my profile and boost my career, because at that time, you could just anything that happened to you, you would get national sympathy. You know, he had Kamala Harris coming out. Everybody, oh my God, we support Jussie so much. He's extremely mentally ill, in my opinion, that he won't let this go. He went to court every day, and he forced his family and friends to stand there with him, knowing it was all a lie, and they know it's all a lie, and no one can say anything. It's like the emperor's new clothes. Like he still sticks to it. Let me see what Jussie's up to. One second here. And like the planning was so poor. I mean, I do like that he had them say this stuff and they really acted it out in person. That's good because it makes it look real. But the time, 2 a.m., this like do it earlier in the night if you're going to go. He didn't have enough balls to do it in a place where like people might have actually seen it. I'm like, he picked a snowstorm. So stupid. Go all the way. Oh, there's my dogs. They're pissed too. Do it. Like, go all the way with it, man. And hire 2 white guys. You can't have 2 Nigerian brothers screaming MAGA country and, you know, like there's that bad MAGA. Ugh. Brothers paid by Jussie Smollett. He is very, someone says narcissists will never, ever concede defeat or admit they lied. That's true. But someone's got to convince him that it would be more beneficial career-wise at this point to come out and say he was sentenced to 150 days in jail plus probation. That's right. He went to jail for this, proclaiming that this was all still true. The man is sick. Is he working? I think I read Tyler Perry might be putting him in something. I don't know. He made this up. He's sticking to we haven't seen this type of sickness on public display and I can't remember when. These guys, Abimbola and Olabinjo Osundaro, apologized for their role in the 2019 hoax. They wanted to, they agreed to it because they wanted to use his connections as a prominent actor to help them in their own careers. This thing was so poorly thought out. It was well thought out in some aspects, poorly thought out in others. How the hell do you think you're going to get away with this? And then you're just going to go on and get a career. I mean, in a way, it's working. One of these guys was at a celebrity boxing event that I was attending to cover last year. So it is working out, maybe even better than it would have, to be quite honest. If he just got them some auditions or something, they probably wouldn't be anywhere near this level of notoriety. So good for them. I don't begrudge the Osundaro brothers for taking this job at all. In fact, I thank them because it is so funny. The whole ruse. They want to apologize to everyone in the audience, the country, and anyone who might have been affected by this directly. When we were asked to partake in this, we really didn't foresee the ramifications of what something like this could do to the country. We allowed our ambition to cloud our judgment. I mean, listen, they're overstating it a little bit. Didn't do anything to the country. Some people got up, like, yeah, people were upset initially, and politicians made statements, but the country was fine. If anything, like I just said, it entertained the country. So please, guys, we should be thanking you. We should apologize to you for making you feel bad about doing this. Smollett, who is black and gay, purportedly attempted to vilify Trump supporters as racist and homophobic. He originally suggested white attackers shouted racial slurs at him and yelled, "This is MAGA country." Yeah. Like, why can't anyone in Jussie Smollett's life pull him aside and say, cut the bullshit? You faked it. You lied. You went to jail for it. At this point, come on, man. I mean, it's not like he'd be admitting to a murder and he's worried about some kind of, being recharged. He faked a hate crime hoax for publicity. Come clean, asshole. What's he doing these days? Oh, yeah, he was released from jail 6 days into his sentence pending his appeal. So is that still going on? I don't know. Listen, everyone forget about it. We don't need to lock him up again. Let's just all admit that it was a big fake joke and that it was fun. Okay? All right. Last thing I want to do is talk about this guy who killed his wife. That's right. It's Monday. It's Murder Monday here at the Dante Greco Show. Let's get crazy. Pull this up here. Oh, second, please. He's a dentist. Dentists, they say, are usually suicidal. But in this case, this dentist was homicidal. Colorado cheating dentist 45 allegedly searched how to make poison online before lacing his wife's protein shakes with arsenic and cyanide. Mother of 6 thought she had a sinus infection for weeks before being declared brain dead. Well, that's just terrible. James Craig charged Sunday with fatally poisoning his wife of more than 20 years. How about a divorce? Instead of, I never understand what goes through these guys' head. Like, yeah, is it tough to ask for a divorce and hire a divorce lawyer and go through all that? Yes. Is it tougher to hire a defense lawyer and go to jail for the rest of your life for murder? Yes, that is objectively tougher. Came from 5 generations of dentists. Were there any murders Did any of them kill somebody? Secretly or overtly? I don't think so. Are dentists, is that true? You know, that's always like the myth. Dentists are suicidal. It's like one of the top suicide professions. But I personally don't know any dentists. So I've always wondered, is that just something that people say because they assume that a dentist would be suicidal from looking at people's disgusting, unkept mouths all day? Or is that based on any statistics? If you know anything, let me know. Okay. James Tolliver Craig, excuse me. I didn't realize we were dealing with a gentleman. James Tolliver Craig of Aurora, Colorado, used a shared computer at his workplace. What a dumb. This is another Brian Walsh. He's 45. Let's see. When the internet came out widely in 95, I would say, if I remember correctly. That's kind of like when the internet really started to come out. That's close to 30 years ago. He's probably 17. The guy knows about the internet. He knows about tracking. He knows about that they can see everything that you do. And yet he still thinks you can just Google this stuff, and on a shared computer at his workplace. What did he think? They were going to pin it on somebody else, one of his coworkers? He used a shared computer at his workplace to conduct multiple searches about poison before his wife, Angela, 43, was declared brain dead, according to his arrest affidavit. The searches included: how many grams of pure arsenic will kill a human? Is arsenic detectable in autopsy? Top 5 undetectable poisons that show no signs of foul play. How to make poison, and from the David Letterman show, the top 10 deadliest plants. They can kill you. This is him. This is James Tolliver Craig. You can see he's a little teary-eyed because somehow they figured out that he killed his wife and that he had all these Google searches. 1 second here. I'm sorry. My dogs are interrupting me. Behind the scenes. I'm live right now, babe. What's up? Okay. All right, give me 5 minutes. All right, listen, I don't know who that was. That was the director of the show. All right, let me wrap this up about James Tolliver because I gotta get moving. Angela was admitted to a hospital with symptoms that aligned with poisoning 2 days later. He drove her to a Colorado hospital at 8:45 p.m. Wednesday after she complained about headaches and dizziness. Her condition deteriorated rapidly, and she was soon placed on a ventilator in the intensive care unit. The mother of 6 was soon declared brain dead, and doctors eventually made the decision to turn off her life support. Okay, so this is the part where it becomes very sad and unfortunate. You know, mother of 6, selfish POS, James Craig, allegedly, for doing that. You know, just leave. Just walk out the door, drive away. Don't kill a mother of 6. Her death was investigated by Major Crimes Homicide Unit detectives who initially discovered she was poisoned. It was quickly discovered this was, in fact, a heinous, complex, and calculated murder, Division Chief Mark Hildebrand said. Craig flew a woman whom he had exchanged sexually explicit messages with from Texas to Colorado while Angela was in hospital fighting for her life. It appears he was flying this woman into Denver while his wife and the mother of his children was dying in the hospital. Well, that's also going to be very suspicious. Like, has he ever watched one effing crime show in his entire life? While she's in the hospital, you fly in your cheating explicit woman? Dumb. James told the seller of the poison that he was a surgeon and intended to use the potassium cyanide for a medical procedure. Then he gave his dental license number and work email to order the poison. Natalie, you said you come from 5 generations of dentists. I assume that dentists are intelligent people. We're not talking about just like some guy who had no career. You have to learn things and pass tests to be a dentist. Where is the disconnect? What happens? You get that stupid. Craig had the cyanide sent to his dental office where an employee opened the package and saw what he had ordered before resealing it and giving it to the dentist, who told his business partners that the personal package was a ring he had ordered for his wife. Another blunt. Like, dude, cyanide that you're going to use to kill your wife? How about a P.O. box? I mean, I don't want to advise murderers, but like, okay, you don't want to send it home because you don't want your wife opening the package of cyanide and saying, "What's this for?" You know, the dog. You don't want to send it to your office because, yeah, your assistant opens it. Maybe she shouldn't have opened it, but she did. You're leaving it too much to chance. You got to send it somewhere where people aren't going to know what it is. They're not going to look at it. Angela Craig was a phenomenal woman, outgoing, and the best mother you could imagine. She was very supportive of her husband, even working in his practice during financial difficulties. Craig and his practice filed for bankruptcy protection in 2021. Okay, they've been married for more than 20 years. Parents of 6 children, 5 girls and a boy aged 8 to 20. God, this is terrible. Well, we're going to see what happens with this. This sounds very bad. It sounds like another Brian Walsh. And fuck him. I hope he goes to jail if he did this. All right, look, it's an abbreviated show today. Unfortunately, I have to go. I got to run some errands. I will be back tomorrow. I'm going back to my everyday cadence with this show. So please tune in and try different backgrounds and all that. And we're going to see what happens. Thank you for joining us. As always,
have a good life. We will see you soon.
Much love.
thank you.
Love.
All right, Dante.
So once again, thank you to my brother. Tell him your name again.
Dante Greco.
2 words. Made in America.
Dante, you're doing great.
Listen, I want you to leave my good friend Ringo alone.
Hal. Have a good day.